Good morning, guys. How we doing? Hope you're all having a good morning here so far. We are in, I would say, now a bit more of a range. Earlier this morning, we were seeing a bit more of a push, a little bit of a V-shaped recovery. Kind of quick, at least if you look at the 5-minute chart. But now, it's time to scalp this range, man, and see if this range holds out or if we end up clearing this high here and returning to more of a trend. Fading back downside, taking out the low of day over here, right? And continuing a trend that way. We'll just do what the market tells us. What do you say, huh? Good morning, guys. How we doing? Jimmy, good morning. Brandon, Kane, how we doing? Derek, good to see you. Pat, how we doing? Chris K, welcome back, brother. Vin, good to see you guys. All right, we have 23 seconds left here on this 2-minute bar. We're looking at a 2-minute chart here to start the day. And we'll see what that brings, huh? All right, this is interesting here. Let's get the copy trader geared up just in case. We got 6 seconds here till the rollover. Let's see if this is an inside close. I'm gonna punch that. We're gonna punch it short. We're gonna give this baby the curl. Volatility is pretty damn good. Move this guy down. I'm gonna bet against that continuing. Betting on the range. Good morning, guys. Gaines, how we doing? Gaines got 150K funded account and $100 from passing an additional eval. Good work. Trading Chris, how we doing? Roy, good morning. Vanny, how we doing? All right, we're about 60 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Let's see how this one closes here. Now, of course, we got to keep an eye on this kind of thing, right? Got to keep an eye on this kind of thing. You know, you could make the argument for a flat bottom. Some people are going to draw this. Don't you hate how that starts to look? You got a million things drawn. Okay, 25 seconds out. Let's see how this bar closes. A bit of a wick. Let's get some more information here. And volatility's up, man. Okay, so I'm trading in 2 groups. Those of you guys who missed yesterday, I am now splitting because we're scaling horizontally, right? So at some point, we talked about this months ago. This is just the plan being executed here. It's time to split these. So I'm now trading in groups. So I'm trading group 1. And I've sized up in those accounts, but you see at top left, the total position is now 46. I was trading 47. Do not get emotionally attached to the position size. It's going to change here. That's a good thing. But that's what I'm trading right now is across group 1, which is about half of all my accounts here. So we'll trade group 1 and then maybe switch over to group 2 when we need to. Ninja, maybe I missed it. How many accounts per group? Right now, it's like 11 or 12 per group. But again, you guys, don't get emotionally attached to Well, how many accounts, how many contracts per account? It needs to change, right? I mean, isn't that kind of the goal? The goal is to not keep it the same every day forever. Now again, I'd really like to be trading these in 3 groups, but I gotta figure out how to make it so I can show the open P&L with having less accounts in the, it moves where the P&L is on the screen, and it messes up all the overlays, so I'm working on that. Joseph, how we doing? Hope you're having a good day. All right, 90 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. See what we get. Bulls are pushing this baby, aren't they? Nope, I'm not going to cancel the trade. I put the stop where I wanted to put it. That's where the stop lives. Volatility's back, baby. Numbers are going to get bigger. That's a damn good thing. Gotta love it. The numbers have been small, man, these past few weeks. It's not, you know, we're going to get back to, ideally, some bigger numbers here. Start scaling. Taking some bigger money out. Okay, so stop currently is about a point or so. 3 ticks, 3-4 ticks above that curl. Actually behind there, that curl there. See if they take that out. Vinny took quick scalp on that 840 candle. Loving it. Yeah, man, this volatility is great. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. ATR on a 2-minute chart, man, is 25. It's a beautiful thing. So, Donia, how we doing? Hope we're doing well. No. I got a voice changer. Okay, now, so this is really, obviously, you know, this is a good push out of the bulls. However, looking at this from the other direction, it's kind of tough. I mean, if you look at, there's where I'm at. If you look at top left, that's a 5-minute chart. This is a very nice bull sequence. The problem is lately, we've been seeing a hell of a lot of this kind of thing start to become a look. So would I have gotten long on this bar? I wouldn't have been able to in case this just maintains the bear channel, because, you know, we have this look down here too. Which means I stay in the current trade. At least that's my rule. Chris, good morning. How we doing? Good work, Chris. Yeah, Midnight, how about you let me worry about my data? If you'd cut the loss, baby, you cut it. Good thing I'm not you. What's up, Ahmad? How we doing? Ah, yes. Casual. Reg, give us some real talk about the proposed removal or lessening of PDT restrictions. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get rid of it. But lowering the amount in the manner that they're thinking about doing so, at least voting on, which I gotta tell you, it confuses me, because who the hell is voting for PDT to stay at 25,000? Probably some weirdo who doesn't even trade is like, no, we need to protect these people. They're gonna lose their life savings. Okay, that's kind of, you know, the trader's problem if they do that, right? This is America, is it not? So that's kind of a weird thing, but they are talking about lessening it from 25,000 to be above the pattern day trade restriction on stocks options to 2,000, which I gotta tell you would be tremendous. That would be tremendous. The barrier to entry is much lower. Volume in the markets, especially in cheaper stocks like small cap momentum, would go up because you'd have more people trading them. More people being able to trade, the market would get, I think our space here would get that much bigger. This is, I don't believe I'm exaggerating. If we could actually get PDT removed or at least lowered to like a couple $1,000, it might be the greatest thing we've seen in years for all of us. Very good thing. I gotta tell you, I am loving the increase in volatility, though. This is fantastic. Tony, good to have you, brother. Yeah, you know, PDT, ultimately it was put in place at the end of the or I guess during, maybe slightly after. It was because of the dot-com bubble. A lot of people lost everything, but I'll tell you what, a lot of people also changed their lives, which everyone likes to conveniently forget. And I think that that's the way it should be. And everyone came together, and a bunch of sissies came together and said, oh, we got to protect these people. They lost their life savings. We can't let them do that again. Protecting people from themselves, as long as there's no risk of them hurting other people, is ridiculous. Like, obviously, when people drive under the influence, we're not protecting them by pulling them over. We're protecting innocent civilians on the road. But here, and them, I guess, a little bit. But here, people are just protecting, they're being protected from themselves. And you could say, well, they're going to hurt their family. Let them worry about their family. It's not the government's job to think that, you know, some dude's going to come in and lose his family's life savings. It's not the government's job. But, you know, I guess there is another side to this. It protected the brokers from a lot of people losing all of their money in their accounts, blowing their accounts at once. There's that side of it. The brokers wanted a little bit of protection. I don't know. I don't see that argument either. I really don't see that argument either. Let the brokers worry about their risk management. And if we're being honest, man, removing PDT is the best thing that could happen for the brokers if their risk management is managed. If their risk is managed, I should say. Because how do brokers make money? At least, like, well, how do all brokers essentially make money? By you executing trades. Okay, either they're getting a kickback from the middleman in free brokers, right? Which means the more you execute, the more money they make. Or with paid brokers, which I very much prefer for stocks, options, futures, very much prefer paid. They want you to execute more, right? So as long as they can manage their risk in-house, it's in everybody's best interest that PDT just goes away. You can see the Bulls struggling a little bit with 23 here, but nothing for me to do yet. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, the protecting people from themselves thing, this is not the place to do it. This is the big leagues. If you want the opportunity to make big money, guess why you're able to make big money? Because there's big risk. You get paid to put on risk. You get paid to have discipline when other people can't. You get paid to take big losses that freak people out. And maintain a level head while doing it. That's why you make a lot of money. Okay, so, you know, if you come in and You're emotional. You're not disciplined. And you put your life savings on the line. Same thing in business, man. This is the big leagues. This is for big boys. And if you want to play, I don't think there should be someone standing in your way saying, hey, like maybe you should think about this. You're not capable. That's what PDT is. And yet, conveniently, everybody likes to say, yeah, but people are losing everything. That's great. That's great. There are also people coming in with 5,000 bucks if they lower PDT with a few $1,000 and in, 7 years turning it into 80 million. No one talks about those people. Isn't that kind of the American dream? Right? Having the freedom to do what you'd like to do. Boggles my mind how people, thought PDT was such a great idea. Everyone gets all emotional after the dot-com bubble and fucks the market up for everybody. Or at least a bunch of new people. All right, let's see if these bulls can finally take us through this high back here. That one there, right? That'll cut us and we can move on. Yeah, Eric, maybe for everybody, but not for individuals. It's not for individuals at all. That's fundamentally incorrect. When you put everyone together, sure, maybe. Aside from positive drift in the market over time. Well, now these bulls are just toying with us, man. This is a really nice change of pace, though, man. I gotta tell you, I'm hoping this volatility kind of maintains throughout the kind of midday here, the lunch hour. It's not likely to maintain, but we'll see if it can at least stay maybe above 15 or so. Having ATR above 20 this time of day, though, I gotta tell you, is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sight. Okay, that's gonna flatten us. Let's move on. Chris, how we doing? Okay, now, that right there is the breakout attempt for that little flat. So we're 55 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Let's see how it closes. Okay, 90 seconds out here. Big old wick on that last 2-minute bar. You can see the bears stepping in. Right as the bulls try to take it through that little high. Lucas, Mr. Wrench, what would be your top 5 stocks you mostly trade with? Yeah, it's not like that. I trade what is in play on the day. As far as stocks, what has high RVOL, which is relative volume, what has a reasonable float inside of my parameters. A lot of people come into the market, they're like, I'm just going to become the expert on Apple or Tesla or Nvidia. Yeah, we all tried it. It's too hard. If you're going to trade stocks, the way to do it is to trade what is in play. That's my opinion. Now, a big blue chip could be in play, but it's usually going to be names you've never really heard of. And it lasts for, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. All right, inside close on that last bar here. Let's see, you can see volatility's coming in a tad, but it's holding up. I mean, that last bar at a 16-point range. All right, 13 seconds out here. Wick close. Next bar. Okay, here. Yeah, I want to see a nice strong bear bar out of the bears. That's not going to do it. And then get long there. No trade there, next bar here, 2 minutes out. Okay, 45 seconds out here. Now there's a few looks. Okay, I mean top left 5-minute chart, you could be looking at that kind of thing if you wanted to look big. You could look at this kind of thing if you wanted to look tighter. So kind of keeping an eye on both here. Okay, 57 seconds out here. We'll see if we finally get a definitive close here out of the bears. We're going to place that right there. Give this 30 seconds. That is a stop limit buy. Go ahead and pull that. No trade. Next bar. 90 seconds out. Ooh, big old doji close. Nothing there. Next bar here. Minute 53 out. All right, 20 seconds here. Can't place that. See how that wick... see how that bull body closed right inside the previous bar's wick? Looking for a close just above that, and I would have slapped that on with a stop limit buy if we got a fill. Which we still would not have here. It's alright, we'll watch this bar instead. 90 seconds out. Nothing there, next bar. All right, guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. All right, we are back, baby. Market entering a little bit of a range. ATR still right around 20. It's 19.9 right now. So let's see here. That being the case, that is not a bar that I can comfortably buy. All right, here, 25 seconds out. You know, if we could get a nice strong bear bar closing near the low, I in this case, in this environment, I would buy that rollover. So let's see here, 15 seconds, see if the bears can actually put that together. Come on, bears, take it down. Tell you what I'll do. I don't like having these out for too long in tariff talk environment, but I'll put out a limit buy. That is not a stop limit sell. That is a limit buy. And I'll give that damn near a full half bar. Well, there's half a bar. Got to pull that. All right, 55 seconds out. Let's see how this one closes. Okay, 15 seconds out. This is a dual rollover, by the way, for both the 5-minute and the 2-minute charts. And I will punch that long, and risk on this one is going to be reasonably tight in the current market environment. That's really all this trade needs. You could justify risking if you wanted to just lower the volume and go wide. I mean, technically you could risk this whole thing, this whole curl. For me, I can't justify the reward side of that to make an equation that makes sense for me. Because I know we're in a range market, breakouts are not likely to go all that far, right? So I gotta be careful when selecting risk. I'd rather just keep it tight, keep the reward potential reasonable. Or within reason, I should say, for what we're seeing. 20 E-man, the 5-minute chart, by the way, is currently at 988. Self-fulfilling prophecy, nothing more, nothing less. But keeping an eye on that nonetheless. Chris B, a week or two ago, 30 points was a wide risk. You're damn straight it was. Now 30 is pretty damn tight. At least the way the market's kind of functioning right now. But that's good, man. It's good. It lets you size up. Let's take on some more risk. And listen, hey, if you have a positive ROI per account on average, some accounts are going to have a massive ROI. Some accounts are going to have a negative ROI. This is prop trading, right? For prop trading. But if you average a positive ROI per account, meaning you're consistently making more than your expenses, expenses being eval costs, activation fees, etc. It's good to push. It's good to be able to push, man. It's frustrating when you're not really able to push, because if you size up too much, now you're opening yourself up to black swan, but volatility's low. So you have to size way up to make any kind of reasonable money here in the past couple of weeks. But again, now you're opening yourself up to news wicks, which we saw a lot of with big size, which you don't necessarily want to have to do. But listen, being able to push it is good. That's how you get to the payouts. Not being overly attached to all your accounts is good. Now, we want to be smart. I'm trading them in groups now, again, as part of the scaling strategy. I don't want to have a copy trader, as I get more and more and more accounts below 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 accounts all at once. So right now I'm trading 2 groups. That'll likely turn into 3 groups at some point here. 4 groups seems like kind of gets to be a lot. What's up, Rovio? How we doing? Good to see ya. Rovio, past 2 evals today. Good work. Very good work. Who with, Rovio? Apex take profit? Lurt! What's up, Lurt? How we doing? Hey, Nico, does it matter how many points you take while scalping in Take Profit Trader and Apex, like 4-point scalps? With Take Profit Trader, no, it doesn't matter at all. With Apex, you have to stay above their minimum reward to risk ratio of 1 to 5. Okay, now I prefer to keep that, like, at most, if you're gonna push, really lean into negative reward to risk, I wouldn't start pushing hard past a minimum of 1 to 4 negative reward to risk. Because with slippage and commissions, if you target 1 to 5 off the bat, it's going to push you over 1 to 5. Right, so yes, it matters at Apex based on the ratio. With Take Profit Trader, doesn't matter. All right, man, let's see if the Bears take this right back through that 20 EMA on the 5. This is the test of it right now. Top left of your screen, that's the 5-minute chart. You can see we're testing that right now. Obviously, that's a range, especially with the volatility we're seeing today. It's never going to be an exact point. Well, let's see if the Bears take it through there. You know the Bulls are at least going to attempt to step in. That's what's wicking this right now. See if they can. There you can see here again, top left, there's your 5-minute chart. He's holding. He's trying to. Now again, I don't put faith in it like that. But we know it's there. So when I'm entering a trade, it's like, would I like my stop? Preferably, this is all, you know, going on in my head before I'm structuring the thing. Okay, where am I gonna put my stop? Below the curl. Okay, so on the 5-minute chart, you're talking about this curl here. Is that below the 20 EMA? I'd like it to be if I could help it. Yeah, it is. Okay, so stop for me is at 78 and a quarter. All right, that'll flatten us there. Let's move on, man. The more I look at this, the more I start thinking, you know, are we just looking at a big, giant range again? Right now, that'd put us kind of between 23,040 and like 22.9. We have 4.5 minutes until this 5-minute bar closes top left, and about 90 seconds till this 2-minute bar closes top right. Man, let's see how this 2-minute closes. This is starting to look pretty damn representative of our, from a couple of months ago. You guys remember our continuation scalps? Volatility's up, ATR is 18.8. And that 2-minute chart looks damn familiar on the top right, if we can get a clean close out of the Bears. Vinny says, big ascending support wrench. Yeah, I see it. I see it. But there's always, you know, there's always both sides. There has to be both sides, right? All right, come on back to the 2 minute with me. Gotta slap that there. Gotta slap it. Now if that ends up bouncing up with that little ascending support, I don't want to get filled. But if we take out that low, I do want to get filled. The short side. Give that about 15 more seconds, and we are in. And we are going to suck that up. Boom, that curl there. We're going to bring this guy down. Oops. There you go. All right, now we got to keep an eye on the 50% retracement, which we are watching. How you guys doing today, by the way? Man, I know yesterday a lot of people were, like, really getting hurt kind of bad, it seemed like. With the new volatility, kind of that bigger bear trend we had yesterday morning. It seemed like maybe some people got caught buying the dip and holding, kind of hoping it was going to be a range market. Understandable. I mean, when you see a range market, you know, a lot of you guys, it's kind of the first transition that you're probably ever going to see. From a range into maybe more of a trend market. I mean, shit, man. Look at the bottom of your screen. We haven't even looked at this yet today on stream. That's the daily. That looks different than it has in the recent past, doesn't it? Those last couple of bars. So it's good. It's very, very good. Vinny up half target for the day. Good. Alert flat today. Mark up 120 in each count. Stopping trading now. I don't want to go in the weekend on a bad note. Yeah, I get it. I get it. The longer you do it, the less you give a shit. Clark passed a take profit trader today. Good work. No, I'm not big in crypto, man. I think crypto is probably the worst trading vehicle in existence, in my opinion. At least in an active market. No, big fees, wide spreads, rampant manipulation. I'm not into crypto as an active trading vehicle. Zachary, good day. Yesterday passed my 50K evals. Good to hear it. Code big, baby. Conservative today, small size. Good. Good. Okay, so here's the retest, by the way, of the, well, coming into at least, the 5-minute 20 EMA. I am sitting short. Average 63.50. Giving this one a bit more room though, kind of wide. All right, half decent little push. Top right 2-minute chart, decent close there out of the bears. I don't mind that close out of the bears one bit. Let's see if they can, you know, take it through now. Or if the bulls just try to bounce this right back up. Couple points in the money. Oh no, bears. Flip that candle red and take it down through, baby. Do it to him. That's not really doing it to him. Back to the 2-minute here. This is where we sit. Bit of a doji there out of the bears. Let's see if the bulls attempt a little reversal here. You know they're going to try at least. There you go, bears. Take it through that low. Beauty. I'd love to be able to pull maybe 40 points plus out of this trade. We got to take it bar by bar, man. All right, bulls. Pull those bids, let this baby slip. Yeah, bulls trying to step in and wicket. They're barely holding on though here. Jason, 7K so far today between stocks and futures. Cool, man. Good work. Good work. By the way, this is the situation where everyone goes, "Oh my God, take it off! You don't want to. You can never let a winner turn into a loser." It's like, good God, calm down, buddy. Calm down. You never say, "I don't want to let this loser turn into a winner." That's a beautiful close out of the Bears. So I want more information here. Can't just pull it. I want more information. This is a big game, man. This is a game of a big sample size. Just chill out. There you go, Bears. Well, there's my 40 points. Let's watch how this bar kind of operates here. Alert! LMAO Nico, remember the guy came in screaming, telling you what to do with your trade? Yeah, it's like every day. That's alright. I get it. I get it. When people are newer, man, they think that this is a game of certainties. It's not. This is a game of probabilities. So, acting as if you're certain of something happening is a quick way to out yourself as a fool. I'll be the first to admit, man, we live in a fog. Alright, let's see what these Bears can do. See the Bulls trying to wicket through here. Alright, I'll take 45 points. I'll take my 45. We can move on now. Alright, 26 seconds out. So this bar closes here now. Here, this is helpful. Take a look at the 5-minute top left. See this as we're coming into here? That's why I pulled it, by the way. As we're coming in for a test, because in this market, you know, I gotta say, we have been seeing flats kind of hold a little stronger than we're used to. Now, what I'm thinking about is, shit, that's a really tempting area to try to stop hunt, right? You guys know I'm a big fan of my stop hunt setups. But that's for a different trade here. So we're 3.5 minutes out until the close of this 5-minute bar. That's a lot of time for that to hold. I imagine if that stop hunting is going to work, it's probably going to push before I'm able to grab an entry here. Minute 25 out from the close of the 2-minute top right of your screen. Here's the test of that flat bottom. Let's see. Yeah, that was full target. That was full target. My take profit was in an arbitrary spot in case we got news. You don't know the whole story. Okay, here. Yeah, see, barely a push through there. All right. Okay, wick back on that 2-minute bar. Now, we're 2 minutes out from the close of this 5-minute bar. Top left, remember, if this closes nice and clean like this, essentially, I'm going to have to use a stop limit sell on that rollover. That'll be a dual rollover with the 2-minute as well. So let's see how that closes on the 5. Now, what we should do here, let's go ahead and actually switch to the 5 minutes. This is a 5-minute chart now. Let's see. Let's see what we get here as far as a close. Nice clean close. Gonna have to pop out a stop limit sell. And shit, man, see. That's 80 points. Good God. We still got about 47 seconds, so let's see here. "30 seconds out." Yes, Trump. I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in appropriate regions near Russia. Little headline there. All right, let's get ready. I'm gonna pop out a stop limit sell. I do not want it that close, and then we'll pull it on back. Slap him there. Yes, I'll put him there. Give him 30 seconds, well, 23 seconds now. See if we can get a fill. Yeah, if the Bulls just bounce this baby, I obviously don't want to be filled here. I want to make sure that the Bears are already pushing in my direction through the wick low of my signal bar before I get a fill. Couple seconds out. No fill, no trade. Got to pull it next bar. All right, let's head back to the 2-minute. That's too bad. Good setup on the 5, but hey, if we don't get a fill, we don't get a fill, right? We got to move on. All right, back to the 2-minute chart here. Now, big reversals like this, if we were to see a reversal, I don't enter on the first signal bar. I look for 2 consecutive at a minimum. So in this case, we have a big, strong bear push. If we get a nice bull bar closing near the high, I'd like to see a second. All right, minute 33 out. All right, 45 seconds out. Let's see what we get. All right. Big wick back there out of the bulls. Big inside close. Nothing there for me. Gotta hold off. Next bar, 2 minutes out. TL just passed 2 Apex 250K evals today. Great work. Thank you for your stream. One of the big changes I made was going with 1R rather than 1.5 to 2R. Yes, we have this conversation all the time. It's helped my P&L and mental capital. Great job. Very good work. All right, 23 seconds out here from the rollover of this 2-minute bar. Let's see what we get. He's in a little close. Slap that guy down. Give it a few seconds. See if we can get a fill. It's got to go at least a tick through the previous bar's wick low. 20 more seconds. See if we can get a fill. Low of day right around 22.8. Tad lower. No fill in 30 seconds. Gotta pull it. Gotta pull it, baby. All right, big attempt at a little reversal here out of the bulls. You guys know I need consecutive bars. For a big reversal like this, man. And there you go, there's an example. Buy the first bar that looks good, you can get into trouble. Now you can also be early and get a bigger reward or risk. That's the difference in the statistics, right? For me, I want a little more confirmation, which means consecutive bull bars. For a big reversal like this. Now, with the current trend, which would be a bear bar, you guys know, I really only need one clean bar for me to look for an entry. And then it's a matter of, do we get a fill on the stop limit sell? All right, 60 seconds out here. This 2-minute bar is looking half decent thus far. Let's see how it closes. 55 seconds. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. B setup. I'm going to give it 10 more seconds here. I'll give a B setup about 15, whereas I'll give more of an A setup, B plus, A minus plus. A minus or above, I mean. About 30 seconds. No fill, pull it. All right, next bar, minute 40 out. Now, the concern we need to have here, right, is, hey, does this turn into kind of this look? We've seen this happen a lot, especially lately. It's just the volatility today. I mean, ATR, man, is above 20. It's 23 on a 2-minute chart. Midday. We have not seen this in, God, maybe months. It's probably been months since we've seen that. So, I gotta tell you, I think it's probably worth, if this closes reasonably, I think it's worth a stab, and I'm gonna risk this, because risk on this is tight. It's not a lot. We can certainly structure that and have it look half decent for us. Yeah, it's a trade that makes sense for me. All right, there you go. See if that can fade down through the low. Now, if this turns into a little reversal sequence, right, more like a little ascending bull channel, there you go. If it turns into a trading range, we'll probably still be in the trade by the time we figure it out. And then we can manage from there. But I've been looking for the reversal trade that we have not gotten an entry on. Okay, so when you get a nice half-decent bear bar closing near the low, I can structure something there. Risk less than 30 points, keep it tight. If it doesn't work, move on. All right, that's a good close out of the bears. I like that close. Now, this is a short-lived level. Can't expect, 10 points of stops worth, at least not on average. Big sample size. So I'd expect maybe about 3 points. I'm going to hover that over in case we get news. I want to be exposed to bigger moves, right? And then maybe look for maybe a 3-point pop through with some stops, since that's a short-lived level, if we can get a test downside there. I'm not going to place that order yet. Just keep me exposed, but we will if we need to. So, again, I am looking for a push through that low, maybe 3 points. Just a couple reasons why. You might be wondering, well, why? When on other stop hunting mentalities, you might look for, 8, 10, 12. It's a short-lived level. This is a 2-minute chart. That level has not been there that long. You can't expect a million stops to accumulate down there. But number 2, there is a risk of a sideways trading range here. And I'm not looking, I should say, in this market environment, I don't think it makes mathematical sense to bet that breakthrough is going to go another, 70 points. Will it? Maybe. But that's trading. You just got to make the decision that makes the most sense to you in the moment. What fits your edge, right? Over a big sample size. People still don't get it, man. Some people. Most of you guys get it at this point. All right, we'll plop him there. See if it can get it popped through to fill. If not, we'll pull it on back. And I want to be exposed to the bigger move as often as I can, as long as I can be in the trade without missing the potential pop through that I want to get taken profit on without having to do it manually and just be quick, right? We can be pretty damn quick, but you can only be as quick as your brain tells your finger to hit the button, right? There's a little push. Got wicked. Yeah, went 3 points and didn't fill me. See if we get a retest. Come on, Bears. One little tick further than just the 3. Let's see if they can. All right, here's a little retest. We missed the fill by 1 tick on the first attempt, man. Let's see if we can just get that one little tick. Oh, you Bears, you are killing us. Joseph, yeah, that's a good question. Is it worth it to risk the green for a tiny tick? Is it worth it on this one trade? No. No. But this isn't about one trade, right? If this turns around and turns into a loser and stops me out, a bunch of people who are worried about one trade are going to go, wow, you should have just taken it. Okay, there's a huge issue. I've worked with a lot of people one-on-one at this point in my life. That is a huge problem. It causes everything to slip, and it flips the data negative. If they had edge before they started breaking that rule, they certainly don't after. I've looked at a shitload of data. Not just my own. I've looked at lots and lots of data. So, is it worth it on this one trade? Yeah, I mean, no, not really. No, it's really not for the one tick, right? It's a shitty little tick. Who cares? But in the long term, you start taking it early because that happens. Now, the next time you can justify it again. You can say, well, you know, it's not worth the extra 3 points. And then the next time, you know, it's not worth the extra 6 points. It's just not. And then eventually you have no edge left. That's discipline. Okay, discipline is being able to risk a trade that you're in the green on, turning around and stopping you out. Without saying like, oh, I have to move it to break even, unless that's part of your strategy. For a lot of people, moving to break even is not a mathematical advantage. It's a psychological advantage. And that's okay. If you feel like you need that, that's all right. I don't feel like I need that. I just don't care. That's right. The data's everything, man. You start breaking little rules like that, you start giving away data. Edge is hard enough to come by as it is, dude. Start giving it away for psychological stability. It's not a trade. That is not a trade worth taking. Pun intended. Bull's trying here, man. Let's see. All right, Bears, let's take us through. Give us that tick. There's the fill. All right, we're flat. Let's move on. 55 seconds out from the close here of this 2-minute bar. "15 seconds out. This is clearly a range, but I have a problem with this. And my problem is if you look at the 5-minute, which kind of shows us the full story, is the low of day is right at 22.8, approximately, within a couple of points. Getting long here. It didn't happen, okay? But had this bear bar closed like down here, I would have a legitimate argument to say, well, I should buy that for a push back up into the range. However, I do think it's tempting for the bears to say, volatility's high. Let's just go sweep that low. I don't know, man. I think price is still too high. Let's sweep the low and see. Obviously, it's not like they're actually having that conversation, but collectively, maybe that becomes the market's opinion. That flips my decision to buy a nice bear bar closing near the low. Just because, I mean, fuck, look at this. You know, it's like, if this range, you know, were 45 minutes longer, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, we have a conversation as far as buying a bear bar closing near the low. But right now, I'd rather short a bull bar closing near the high. Roy! And with that bear bar, I passed 3 take profit trader 25Ks and 2 Apex 50K evals. Good work, Roy. Man, especially those take profits. Those are some assets. Good work. How we doing? Good to have you. Okay, now, see how this bar closes. Yeah, half decent outside close. Right now, I'm a little concerned of that range that's forming. So right now, my really top of mind idea is, hey, if we can get a nice couple of bull bars closing near the high of that range, I would like to short them. Because as much as I could have shorted the rollover of that last 2-minute bar 30 minutes ago, can't do it right now. The range is getting a little too obvious. All right, guys, but hold up. Back in 2 minutes. Don't you go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, we are back, baby. All right. Minute 35 out here. Let's see if we get as far as a 2-minute close. Again, decent size, not massive. Bull bar closing near its high. I would like to short it. Now, if it closes way the hell up here, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, we reclaim this. I can't short that anymore. But in a minute 8, we'll have a decision here. Let's see what we get. line on that chart is the 20 EMA on a 2-minute chart. All right, 20 seconds out here. Let's see what we get. Toby, how we doing? Good to see you today. Ooh, big wick back. Wick is more than half the size of that bar. Man, if you guys haven't yet, hit like on the stream, baby. Definitely helps out. All right. Minute 6 out. You guys know the drill. I don't even have to say it, do I? Let's see how this bear bar closes. This thing can close right about here. I gotta get short on it. Don't want it too deep in the channel. It starts kind of inverting things a little bit for me. All right. Get this guy ready here. Gotta place it. I'll give that 20 seconds, if not 15. See if we can get a fill to the short side here. No fill, not there. Got to pull it next bar, minute 35 out. And there would have been our fill. God damn it. All right, I mean, I have to have some time to cut it. By the way, the reason that I cut it after a certain amount of time is we're scalping, right? I want it to happen as quickly as it can. Now, obviously, some trades take their time, but ideally, especially on a stop limit entry, you get a fill and it pushes in your direction 5, 10, 15 points as quickly as possible. Dollar bill. Why short there? Just looking to backfill the whole range, which is exactly what happened. Just didn't get a fill. Then you can stop under a little bit of these lows, then take profit down here. Would have been a nice trade, just didn't happen quickly enough for me. Yeah, see, I played out exactly correct. Faba caught 10 points. Good work. Hey, Biblical, appreciate you, brother. Good to have you. Good to have you. You know, we got a whole bunch of regulars in the chat. Those of you guys, we got new people in here every day, man. Hope to see you guys become regulars in the chat. Don't just watch, man. Converse. Trading's a lonely game. Alpha Gold, how we doing, brother? Biblical took that short, made 225. Good work. Dollar Bill, I tend to catch the falling knife or the flying knife. How do you stop that? The way that I try to stop that for myself, it's hard, but I try to do, if I'm gonna go reverse. Right now, we're clearly in an intraday bear trend, correct? You'd agree, right? I mean, we're looking at that right now. Now, that can change multiple times throughout the day. On a 2-minute chart right now, we're looking at an intraday bear trend. So, if I were gonna get long, the only time I would do it in this scenario is if we got 2 consecutive growing bull bars. The signal bar especially, but ideally both closing at or very close to their highs. And then I would enter with a stop limit buy above the second signal bar. Growing, okay? Growing bull bars. Ideally, the second one's a little bit bigger than the first. That's the only time. Now you could say, well, what about here? It's shrinking, right? And in a trading range. So I'm talking like a close up here, but then you can look at an ascending bull channel, which reverses and does this kind of thing, or this kind of thing, right? So you got to be careful. At least I have to be careful. I'm not going to tell you how to trade. There's a million ways to do this, but I got to be careful trying to buy in a situation like this. It's just easier to find setups to the short side unless you get that really clear consecutive bull bar setup that has not enough argument against it for me to not take. But those setups are a little more rare. Randy, thank you for everything. Your way of trading has really helped me fill the gaps in knowledge that I needed. Good to hear it, Randy. Hope to see you coming back. Yeah, Christian, we're few and far between, man. There's not a lot of traders. All right, 37 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Let's see how it closes here. Biblical, does time on the clock, like actual time, affect entries? Okay, so this is a conversation that we could have for a long time. I am of the belief system that as long as you have enough data inside of each bar so that they're not extraordinarily wicky. Like a 1-second chart is going to be extraordinarily wicky because there's not a lot of data in each bar. As long as that's the case. That's not the case, I guess, with it being wiki. I'm of the belief system that I don't really care what chart you put up. You want to put up a tick chart? Have at it. You want to put up a 5-minute? Great. I like the 5-minute. You want to trade a 1-minute? Fine. Just make sure you're not making worse decisions as the day goes on because it's quick. You have to think about a lot of things very fast. 2-minute? Great. I love the 2-minute. It's a great balance for me. Again, tick chart, man, I don't care. It's just a different way to look at the data. And if you remove like the time on this chart and the price on this chart, it'd be very hard to tell what time frame chart you're looking at. Me making decisions primarily on rollovers is because there has to be some kind of arbitrary time where you're making your decisions. Otherwise, I find it just too hard to figure out when the hell you make a decision. It just makes my life easier. But Biblical says you mean time of day. Yeah, man, you get algo moves. 3:50 p.m. Eastern time is a big algo. A lot of programs make buying, selling decisions around that time. You often, basically every day, see a big wick around 350, or right at the 350 rollover. All right, 20 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Bear's wicking it on back. Starting to get into a small bear body. All right, nothing there. Next bar. Yes, Christian, I agree. I agree. And you know what? There's nothing entirely special about the rollover. The only thing that is I can make an argument for, aside from it just makes my life easier knowing when I need to make a decision, is the rollover of a bar is the top of, assuming you're a 1 minute or more, you're trading a 1 minute or more time frame. It's always the top of a minute. So every 1 minute chart trader is seeing the rollover that you're also seeing no matter what time frame you're trading. Obviously, the candles look a little different if you're on a 3 minute and they're on a 1 minute, but the point stands. So the one argument I can make that it actually is helpful is that if you get a really strong close, that rollover is going to be a buy signal for a lot of traders who are trading price action, which can actually turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy and push you into the money a little bit quicker. But realistically, it's just so that you don't have to think about making a decision every second of every day for 6 hours. It's too arbitrary. It's too hard. It's not, it's confusing. It's just easier to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to trade a chart that I'm comfortable with the speed of, a 5 minute, a 2 minute. Hey, if you want to trade a 1 minute, have at it. But being able to make a decision saying, okay, I make a decision at the rollover of every bar. Most of the time, the decision is going to be do nothing. Sometimes it'll be take a trade. Sometimes it'll be manage early. Now, the one exception to that for me is taking profit. And of course, you know, hard stop outs with my live stop order. I'm not waiting for a rollover for that, obviously. All right, minute 5 out here from the close of this 2 minute. This bear bar looking half reasonable so far, but a lot can change in 60 seconds. Let's see how this thing closes. You know, listen, guys, hey, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, you have to be subbed anyway to participate in the chat. So if you're going to become a regular, man, subscribe. We'd love to have you. We're coming in on 102. Big backfill on that 1 2 minute bar. Nearly the entire range. ATR, man. For all the complaining we've had to do when ATR was about 6, we're sitting at 20, almost 21 on the average true range of a 2 minute bar right now. That is very nice to see. That's exciting. All right, 10 seconds out here from the rollover of this 2 minute. Let's see. Yeah, it's backfilling too much of the range. Obviously, I can't get short there. That kind of inverts my reward to risk. Christian, would you make a discretionary decision for using the 20 EMA? You mean based on the 20 EMA? We seem to be respecting it quite a lot for the last few bars. No, not on the 2-minute chart. On the 5-minute chart, what it will do is sometimes it'll stop me from getting into a trade. On the 5-minute 20 EMA, because it's more heavily watched, more of a self-fulfilling prophecy. On the 2-minute, no. Not me, at least. Maybe you do. Great. You do you. All right, 15 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Let's see how it closes. I gotta punch that short. And we can just risk this little guy here. And let's see if we can fade it back toward that flat bottom. That flat bottom's keeping an eye on that there. But if we retake that most recent wick, and the wick where my stop is 1 point above, then I want to be out, man. Even though it might still be within a range, yeah, I'm over it at that point. The idea's out the window. But just a bet on this range here. See if we can get it. See if the bears can take it back in. Yeah, you see those bears stepping in saying, no you don't, bulls. This is a range. You thought we'd break out. That's not happening. Now let's see if the bears can actually take it back into the damn range, which is what I need to occur. Let's see if they can do that. Dollar bill, should you add into a winning trade? I like to add it to winners in trend markets. If I'm going to, I'll add to a winner in a trend market. In a range market, I will add to winners less often because the potential reward is smaller. You can't expect the market to go as far. And maybe I'll add to losers slightly more often in a range market. Adding to winners in a range market is a little more dangerous. The most dangerous thing you can do, though, is add to losers in a trend market, because you might be on the wrong side of the trend, and that bitch might go 500 points. So, you gotta be careful, man. Do your best not to add to losers in a trend. You just might be on the wrong side. Alright, bears, right back into that trading range. That thing's not going too far. Take it right back inside. Alright, Biblical, I got your application, man. Reply to that first text. That first one's automated. From there, I take over and we'll talk about it. See if you're a fit. But you gotta give me your name, brother. All right, Bears, come on now. Right back into that little trading range. Do it. Do it to him. ATR is at about 21 here, so keeping that in mind as far as profit potential here. Not looking to make such a ridiculous ask here. Remember, we're scalping. Leffler, do MNQ and NQ actually move the same? It seems the volume differences would play. For the most part, they move pretty much exactly the same with variations in wicks here or there. Oh, beautiful. Let's see if we can get about 15 points. Maybe a tad less after I got that order out. Okay. Out there. All right, let's move on. Small winner. Maybe 1,400 bucks ish. All right, Biblical, I'll hit you back when we're done here. Callan now! What's up, big dog? How we doing? Doing well, brother. Good to see you. All right. Well, I mean, here, if we look at the 2-minute, I wouldn't mess around and draw it like this. I'd probably just draw it as a flat. And honestly, we're kind of looking at somewhat of a flat here as well. I mean, if you wanted to drag that down a little even. These kind of channels start to get a little weird. But still, right now I have kind of the same idea. I'd prefer to short near the top of the range, ideally on a strong bull bar closing near its high. Chris, Nico, why do you close your positions before they reach your target instead of moving up your stop and letting it breathe? Or should I say, why would you do that? Okay, so first of all, I think I understand the question properly. When I put out my stops, I put them at my end-all be-all stop. Doesn't necessarily have to go there. Sometimes it will. However, if we get an obvious price action move that I would need to get, let's say I'm sitting short, that I would need to get long on, I'll oftentimes cut it early on the rollover of that bar that I would get long on if I were flat, if I'm sitting short. Okay, now why wouldn't I pull my stop up to like break even, let's say, and then extend the take profit order out? Well, first of all, my limit order is usually further than I really need the trade to go for the trade to have edge. The reason I'm leaving it wide is to keep myself exposed equally, if not more heavily biased to the long side if we get a big outsized news bar. Let's say Trump says something about tariffs and the thing moves 80 points. I want to be exposed to the profit side rather than having a wide stop and a tighter take profit and being not equally exposed. So to answer your question, I'm taking profit where I intended to take profit, even if my limit is wider in this market. Now, on a different trade, like you guys 2 or 3 months ago, when we were seeing those, we were taking a lot more kind of 40-point stop, 40-point target trades. The win rate was stupid, man. It was like 70%. That I was just offloading everything to the computer. Okay. The edge came from the entries and mostly the entries alone, less than the management. But now we're in more of a range market. So making an ask that, hey, you know, I want the market to go another 40 points, it might not be reasonable. It was probably reasonable a little earlier in the day, but especially not now. We're in a trading range now, right? Good work, Maddie. All right, Chris H. I got the application, big dog. Hope you guys are ready to rock. By the way, guys, Take Profit Trader, if you guys have not heard, they're still running the sickening 40% off and no activation fee deal that they ran for the 4th of July and then just said, well, everyone's loving this, so we're just going to leave it for the time being. They have now added, you get your first month payment for the test account refunded on your first payout on that account. I think they're losing their mind, but the deal is even better, so use code BIG. Again, if you're just getting started, I think Take Profit is the best prop firm to try to bootstrap going full time. Apex is the best to scale and just try to make a lot of money. But if you're like, I need money coming into the bank account, I need to be able to try to replace at least some of my 9 to 5, if not all of it or more. If you're trying to bootstrap full time, I think Take Profit's the way to go. If you're trying to scale, add on Apex and take it big on Apex. All right, minute 38 here. Till we get the rollover of this current 2-minute bar. You know, ATR is still high. It's still pretty much about 20. Let's see here. I mean, it's kind of starting to tempt the bears a little bit to maybe try to sweep those intraday lows. Can't take a trade on that until it's a little more definitive. John just passed a 50K apex, back to being a funded trader. Thank you, Nico, in chat. Good work, John. Good job. All right, guys, I'll tell you what. It's time for me to hit lunch. Hey. Wait for the setup to come to you. You guys see it's a lot of this. And then we might get 3 trades back to back. We got to hit them. You got to hit them. Wait for it to come to you, and when it does, you got to fucking hit it hard. Hit it hard when it comes. Now, not outside of your risk parameters, of course. But, hey, it's this until it's not, right? If 8 trades come in a single hour, you got to put them on. If no trades come in 3 hours, you got to hold off. It's just the game, man. You're not here to entertain yourself. You're here to provide for your family. At least, hopefully, that's the goal. All right, guys. Hey, make sure you use code BIG. Best deal always. Take Profit Trader and Apex. Take Profit's deal right now is stupid. It's ridiculous. So make sure you use code BIG, B-I-G, but you can use that anytime, and it will give you the best deal. All right, guys. Hey, if anyone else wants to apply to the one-on-one program, go to wrenchcapital.com/MM, and I will see you for Midas Monday. Have a good weekend, guys. Do your job this weekend. Rest up. No itching about trading. It'll be here on Monday, and I'll see you guys then. All right, guys. Enjoy the weekend. Rest up.